everybody. My name's Jason. I hope you can hear me. Joining me to my right, my left, your right, is the one and only Jeffrey Pasito. Jeffrey, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing phenomenal, actually. Considering
Oh,
it's a
that's
Monday
awesome.
night, I am doing very well.
Right on. Glad to hear it. Have you recovered from our recent adventure?
Absolutely not. I'm still riding that high, so I am floating the last couple days. I hope you are as well.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful few days processing all the fun and adventures that we got up to last week. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to sharing some of that cool info with everybody else. And then we've got a couple cool things to reveal tonight. We've got a new
Mhm.
champion to reveal and a couple new stores as well. Got added to the store locator. So I've got a little
Sweet.
video announcing that as well. So lots of cool stuff going on.
Do you want to let people know what last week was about? Because maybe some people don't know why we
Oh,
weren't here
yeah.
last week.
Yeah. Some of our viewers might have noticed we did not get to do a live stream last Monday night. That's because for 6 days and 5 nights, Jeff, Janice, and myself, all three of us, were down in the States at Louisville, Kentucky, being part of the one of the biggest, if not the biggest, industry only gaming expos that happens every year. Gama Expo 2024. It was a huge event, and Janice is telling me I'm soft, which is so not cool, Janice. Let me see if I can make this a little louder for you.
Uh,
Let me see.
yeah, is he soft to the rest of the audience too? Because you're really loud in my headphones, but that doesn't really matter. That's on my end. I can adjust that myself.
Let me see here. Let me see if that helps. If not, I can always just move my mic closer. Let me know, people, if you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Mhm.
Is this good? You tell me now. I'm just going to read the chat until somebody says whether or not it
Yeah,
got any better.
that sounds about right.
Sound
Sounded
no,
soft again.
still
Huh. Jeff is
Je-
loud.
Jeff is.
Jeff is always loud.
Is it that I'm
What?
soft, or maybe if anyone other than Janice could tell us, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah. Okay, Will says it sounds good.
All right, good enough then. Thank you, Will. What so much has happened, Jeff. I
Yeah,
don't even know
yeah,
where to begin. Like,
yeah.
what should we talk about first?
So we went down to Gamma. We had a booth. So let's just kind of go over that quickly. It was a 4 day show
Yeah.
where we did demos all day long. Spoke to industry people, both in well, actually across production and distribution and retail outlets. And we also did evenings of demos, which was incredible. We gave out demo decks, starter decks, I should say, to people that we did the demos with, and there was a lot of interest in it. I think, I think you're gonna echo that, right, Jason? There was a lot. Like anyone who sat down to play it loved it,
Yeah,
as
I
we
would
knew.
agree. That's honestly, and it's not. I'm not trying to sound conceited when I say it, but that usually is the experience. It feels like for 99% of the time, maybe higher than 99%, if you can get somebody to sit down and give the game a chance, they tend to really fall in love with it quickly. And in fact, one person who I hope they're tuning in tonight because we'll probably have
Yes.
a few new eyeballs after meeting so many cool people last week at Gamma. But one person in particular was very excited, and I think it would be fair to say that Genesis is their new favorite game. Like they were very excited. So that was especially a really great feeling. I love the game and I love to share it with other people. But when somebody else reacts even more positively than I did when I first hit it, I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, this might be a new number one Genesis fan in the world. And it
Yep.
was really
Yeah, he was
exciting.
ecstatic. I know
It
who you're
was
talking about too.
yeah, it was really exciting to see people get so enthusiastic about the game and so excited to take some starter decks back to their local stores to play with and introduce their customers to. And I saw several people, we had a QR code on our table that would let people, it would take them right to the Southern Hobby wholesale so that you could order like just by scanning the QR code. And I saw a few people scanning the QR code. So there was probably some instant orders that happened on some of those nights. So that's exciting as well. Definitely had a lot of fun talking to a lot of store owners and explaining to them what our focus is with Genesis, what we kind of try to do a little bit bigger and better than other games, and also just showing off the cool differences between our game and others. So really great time.
Speaking of Southern Hobby, I was amazed how many Canadian retailers were down there. I think we ran into, I myself ran into five or six. mostly
Yeah.
from Central and West Coast, a lot from Alberta, some from BC. Really big contingent down there. I was really, really happy to see that. I didn't think they would frequent it, but I guess that's where the brightest and best go. So they go there to see what's new and what's coming down the line for everyone. I was really impressed with that. I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, I was also caught off guard by how many Canadians we saw down there. It was nice to see some of our compatriots down there, so it was pretty exciting.
What I liked, Jason, was people passing by the booth, seeing the grid and going, "Is this game played on a grid?" And I'd say yes, and they'd say, "Oh, I got to come back and demo it then. Let me just finish my walk." And they'd come back
Yeah.
because they loved it, which is nice to hear. People that like that strategic part of it, that wargaming influenced aspect of it, which again, like you said, you have to sit down and play. That's honestly how I got sold on it. It was actually Will who introduced me to the game, and I watched videos of how to play. I did all that, which we have some new videos of how to play that have been put up on the website by Jason that are phenomenal. They actually do teach you how to play. I couldn't quite get it till I was shown in person how to play it, and I mean in person. It was virtual in person, but shown on Tabletop Simulator how the game's played, and I fell in love with it because that's just it's just moving things around. You go, that this is the next logical step from traditional play my cards card games. It was really really nice.
I really feel the same way
Right.
about that. I also think it is the next logical step if you want a little bit more immersive gameplay. I think
Yeah.
adding the grid and the tactical control of each character really helps you visualize it a little bit better and gives it a more immersive gameplay feel. So, and that was the feedback a lot of people gave us when they played it too. What I found interesting was two things. To touch on one point you just said, there definitely was a lot of people who saw the game, asked if it was grid based, and then were like, "Oh, I'd love to come back. I got to come back and play this later." The other thing I found interesting was a lot of times people see a grid and they assume that it's going to be like some other game that they saw before that they didn't like, right? And that's the part that I love is somebody's played because there have been a few other games over the years that have used grids, but maybe not to the effectiveness or with the great gameplay design that Genesis has. And so some people would be like, "Oh, I don't know, I've seen grid games before," and then as soon as we get them to sit down, they're like, "Oh, yeah, I get it." And like, so it's very cool because even people who've been put off grid games based on other ones they've seen, they tend to really get hooked on Genesis. And the big game that other people know right now that uses a grid is Sorcery, right? And a lot of people were comparing it to Sorcery, which was really cool. A lot of people were saying. We heard a lot of feedback about people who maybe are having trouble getting product for that game, and they're like, "Well, we'd love to bring this one in and maybe try introducing this to our community instead because the product's available, it's in stock." And they all, well, some of them said they even liked it better than Sorcery. I'm not going to get too into depth on what people said, but everything was always really complimentary. There's a lot of excitement, and there's definitely a lot of people who have tried other games that are excited to try and switch their communities to Genesis, and I thought that was really exciting.
I can't. I would say at least a third of the people I played against were literally like jaw dropping when they saw me turn a character, like turn a summoner, turn a champion, and they went, "Whoa, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "It's not lanes," because that's the first thing people's
Right.
minds go to is that this is a lane game. You're playing in lanes like you do in I believe in Yu-Gi-Oh! You play in lanes and a few other games like that. I'm like, no, no, no. This is a full immersive battlefield. You move around on this arena however you're allowed to, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And which is another difference from the sorcery game there. You don't have to build the arena to play on it. You just play on it. You move throughout it. It already exists, which is it really gets you into that brawler feel, into that immersive feel right away. You're not slowly building up to it, sort of thing. You can get right out there and play, which is great. That's the other thing with the resources coming first. I mean, I know we're talking to people that know the game well. A lot of the people in the chat, some people maybe, like you said, are new and not so much. But yeah, you start with all your resources. You start with everything. It's great. And these people were kind of pleasantly surprised with these sorts of things. Which actually, if you don't mind, Jason, I just want to mention quickly for anyone new joining us who hasn't been part of this chat, drop a comment in the chat. Just say hello. Things like that, and I will add you to a magic wheel we spin to give away a pack of Genesis Battle of Champions Invasion. So do comment in there if you're new here and you're not familiar with it. Some people do know. So yeah, Damien, yes, we know you're there. Don't worry. But thank you for saying hello again. That's an example of it. Follow what Damien did.
Yep, just to add a name to your list already, because we are live streaming on two
Oh
different
yes.
YouTube channels at once. Over on the North of Exile Games chat, we've got Jeffrey P72, who is somebody, if I recall right, I believe he used to watch a lot of the Trainer Snake videos, who was a live
Mm.
streamer that would stream Genesis content out of our store last summer. So Jeffrey P72, hey, first, we want to get you added to the list. Second of all, I want to respond to your comments. First comment was that the new card backs are nice. Thank you very much. We'll pass that along to our graphic designer and to Jeffrey, who helped make that happen as well. Really great job on the card backs, and we're really happy that you like them.
Mhm.
Second question Jeffrey has is, are you adding a lore to the game? Well, that is a really cool question that you're going to probably like the answer for, because we have been doing a lot of lore for
Yeah.
Genesis. As we've been introducing new characters who are being spoiled every week right now, that will be appearing in the summer set called Metamorphosis. We've been doing short little 3 or 4 minute videos for each character, showing a world map, showing where they live, giving a little history on what's brought them into this crazy chaos that's going on as the world is changing, constantly evolving, and kind of parallel dimension vibe a little bit. All
Mhm.
sorts of crazy things are changing in this gigantic universal metamorphosis. And yeah, there's lots of lore. So if you visit genesisboc.com, you'll find lots of videos there, and chapters you can read as well. There's some video chapters and some text chapters, and then you can see all the previous spoilers that are already uploaded on the YouTube channel as well. And if you watch the whole stream tonight, you're going to get to see a little bit of lore tonight. In fact, this will be the first lore spoiler video where I'm going to give a preface ahead of time saying that this character tonight, this champion, has a really cool story, and he's going to be in the thick of a lot of things that are going on in his part of the world of Jalara. So I'm going to be doing a full text chapter introducing him as well after this, because I got to about 3.5 minutes of video and I was like, that's it. It's too long. No more. We're going to save the rest of the story for the text chapters that are be coming up very soon on Genesis BoC again. So yeah, I hope that answers all your questions. And if you have any more, I'll be watching both chats all night long. And now to my good friend
Awesome.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, sorry, I was just writing down because we got cardboard cohorts added, we got Brian Pitts added, so I just want to make sure I got them in the list there and I wasn't missing anyone else.
Yeah, and
Um,
and I have to apologize to Cardboard Cohorts. It was my fault. I said it in the chat at the very beginning, but this was the first time that I set up our stream to have like a preview or whatever, so that you'd know it's coming in a few days. And I missed one field where I had to update the episode's name from last week's to this week's. I did it in 2 places, but I missed a third one. So as soon as it went live with last week's episode, I had to kill it right away, redo it another time. So next week, when we do this again, it should be no problem. So you'll be able to join the chat well before it goes live. And it was my first time doing it tonight, but I think I got it figured out for next week. So
that's good. That's really good. No, it should be as effortless as can be. And sorry about that if you guys heard a big microphone pop. I bumped into that by accident. So Gama, that was the big thing
yeah,
from last week. We were there for basically the whole week, Sunday to Friday. Um, Beautiful Louisville, Kentucky. The weather was fine, and the show was just bonkers amazing. They had great
yeah.
panelists too. There were a few um, presentations that we went to that were great. Um, it was just wonderful. We had a really good time there. Ran into some other game companies and stuff like that. That was a lot of fun too to run into, and yeah, just had a generally great time. All three of us did. I think it was wonderful.
Yeah, I loved it. The whole thing was phenomenal. I've got another quick question I just got to address in the other chat just for a
Sure.
second. For Jeffrey, he's asking me a question about streaming in the future, some Genesis stuff. Yeah, you're always welcome to do any streaming you want. If you need any help or tips or advice in getting started, I've done a little bit of streaming. You can shoot me an email. My direct one is jason@edgeofexile.com, or you can send one to hello@edgeofexile.com, and all three of us will see it. Either way, if you need any tips, any advice, anything like that, I can help get you going, and then you can join in the fun. Brian, who's in our other chat tonight on the Genesis Battle Champions YouTube channel, he could testify that it is a lot of fun. Just in the last year, him and his good friend Joe started up Imperial Polls, who've been doing a lot of Genesis content and other games. And every time I talk to Brian and Joe, they're both always talking about how much fun it is to do live streams. And I agree. Every time Jeff and I go live, I have a blast. It's always fun talking to people about something you
Yeah.
love.
Yeah, and it's great that it's on a Monday because it's a great way to start the week. You know, everyone has a rough Monday. We don't. The
Yeah,
night always makes it better. Tonight, talking to you
yeah,
guys makes it a lot better.
absolutely.
What else? You had a whole list of things, Jason. What else was on our list? Because we've kind of gone on Gamma. If anyone has questions, drop them in the chat. We'll touch on them as we
Yeah.
go on. But what else was on your list? You had a few other things there, I think,
So
to go over.
I do have a video I can share announcing a couple new stores, which is pretty cool. These are stores that we got told about before Gamma happened, so these are not stores that I've ordered since our big exciting adventure. But it's cool that we already have a couple more stores on the store locator. Both of them are American. We're filling in our American locations a little more, which is always exciting. Then again, we have a nice spoiler tonight. It's going to be a really cool character. This champion tonight, the story for him, I think, is going to be really cool. It's going to be a bigger one because a lot of cool things are going to be happening involving this character in the future. So we're going to get a little taste of that tonight. And other than that, I was just kind of looking forward to chatting with you, Jeff, just reliving a bit of what we did at Gamma. It was a really fun trip, really productive, and I was really excited about it. I got to have some really neat interactions, and Jeff did too. For example, both Jeff and I got approached separately at different times in different places by two partners who are creators of a smaller indie TCG called Gem Blenders TCG, and they were really friendly, and we got to talk to them. They approached me at the booth, and they caught Jeff. I think we were grabbing food or something, or escalator you bumped into him.
Yep, yep.
So it was neat because for me, it was a unique thing because I don't know if a lot of our Genesis fans realize, but while we are still very much a smaller independent game, we have hit a couple really cool milestones that some independent games never get to reach. Like the fact that we got distribution across the states with Southern Hobby, which is one of the biggest distributors across the entire United States, and the fact we already have Canada-wide distribution with Universal Distribution, which is basically the biggest wholesale distributor in Canada. These are pretty cool milestones that a lot of indie games will never unfortunately get because there's so many cool games out there and not everybody can get signed, not everybody can get distributed. So it was neat when we got to talk to the people from some smaller games, including the Gem Blenders folks, who were both really nice. They were kind of asking our advice on how could they get to the level that we're at, and in my case, because I wasn't with Jeff during his conversation, but for me, I got to just kind of share with him a little bit of my history of being a game store owner and how I knew how the game industry works and how that helped a lot because I kind of knew how things worked when we had our first opening interview with Southern Hobby, and then they signed us right away during the first interview. So, but I tried to give them a lot of advice and helpful stuff and gave them a business card and told them to reach out if there's anything I can do to help them in the future. I'd give them any advice or insight that I could. So that was really fun getting to be the small guy on the block usually, but also kind of someone some people are looking up to. What was your
The medium.
conversation like with some of them? Like,
I ran into the guys from Primal, if anyone's familiar with the Primal game, and it was
yeah,
actually a very similar conversation. They were asking for advice on distribution, on getting into stores. They really want to make that next leap themselves, and it was like you said, Jason, it was very interesting to be kind of that mid ground point where we're not the newest one on the block sort of thing. Like
right,
they were looking to us for some advice and whatnot, and it was actually really nice to be able to give it to them because of that saying, right? Rising tides raise all ships, and
yeah,
it does help get the game out there. These two in particular, very different games than us, right? So it's
yeah,
really nice to see everyone kind of have a shot at it and just keep gaming fun and alive for people because really it's great. Ran into them. Who else? The Alpha Clash team. I
yeah,
ran into their head of I don't know if it's head of organized play or something like that. He was phenomenal. So very talkative and helpful, and on a peer to peer level sort of thing. We had a great conversation, and they seemed like very nice people. A few other distributors we talked to seemed like very very nice people we saw at demo nights and stuff like that. It was really really nice. Oh, ran into Alestrals, ran into A Drive, who's been doing the big push for Alestrals. Seemed very very nice. We had a quick little conversation at the booth, and then again at night I ran into him at the demo nights, and we had a little talk there. Just a lot of other people kind of in the gaming sphere from the game development side of it that were looking for some pointers and some ideas, and we had some really really nice long conversations with them about stuff, which was really really nice. Don't remember everyone's name, so I don't want to give shout outs to some people and not others. The two gentlemen from Gem Blenders, I didn't catch their names, but I know the people from Primal were Angel and Claudio. They were great. Daniel from Alestrals was great. A few other people like that. I feel bad missing some names, but yeah, they were all great people and really, really nice to run into those people. People that knew us from Genesis or even outside of that from stuff Jason or me have done outside of it on our own projects sort of thing. It's really nice to run into those people.
Yeah, it's always fun meeting new friends, right? So
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. For
uh
sure. Yeah, built
got
some new friendships out of it. You're right. Yeah.
yeah. Got another name for your list for you there. Over on the North of Exile
Oh,
chat, we've got Marcus Prideham joining us tonight. Hello, Marcus. Welcome to the live stream.
and I'll add Edward T from here.
Yep.
Edward T. Perfect. Excellent. So I'm just catching up on some of the chat here.
Yeah,
Gem
yeah.
Blenders. Yep. Cardboard Cohorts did a video on Gem Blenders. Cardboard Cohorts. Are your videos all still up? Like you didn't when you stepped away for a bit there, you didn't crash your whole YouTube, right? Like people can still find your old videos because they are great videos to go do some backwards catch up on if you're interested in this sort of stuff. And yeah, Primal's it's an interesting game. It's a riff on Naruto, I think, the Naruto game.
Yeah.
So Naruto's stopped publishing, so he made his own version of it that he could publish, and people can still play, which is great. Hello, Badson. I will add you to the list now as well. And yeah, Cardboard Cohorts videos are still up. Go check them out there. I know Madtown Hobby was doing some videos too, and he was in the previous one before we had to start the second one. I don't know if he's been in this one yet, but hopefully he jumps in here. So I wanted to shout him out for his videos as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy his content.
Yeah, very, very good. He has some great news in his last video, so make sure you go check it out. That's something very exciting for him himself.
Yes, that's true. It's definitely worth checking out the old Madtown Hobby channel because he's got some cool things going on.
Yep, for sure. For sure. I see earlier on Damien jumped into cat spoilers already. He wants spoilers for the set beyond the set that we're about to, that we're doing spoilers for. Not quite yet.
Might be a little premature on that one, but will you settle for a Metamorphosis spoiler? Because I got one of those for you.
Would you settle for that? Because maybe where are we now? Oh, we're almost at halfway. Let's wait till the halfway video. What do you think? We got 8 more minutes to fill before we throw that video out there to everyone. So we'll make you guys wait for it.
Well, in the meantime, why don't we take a look at the new stores that have just joined the Genesis community?
Let's do that.
Shut them out. It's a really short video, only about a minute long. Okay. So we'll be right back after we celebrate a couple new stores that have just begun carrying Genesis Battle of Champions. We've got some cool graphics and some official sounding music. I guess that makes this the news. Oh, hi, Ohio. Let's take a look at what's going on in your state. Over in Barberton, Ohio, we've got Dragon's Den Gaming now carrying Genesis Battle of Champions. Oh wow, Ohio's not just shaking things up with one new store, they've got 2 new stores now carrying Genesis Battle of Champions. Let's see what's going on over in Ravenna. It's Battlegrounds Game Center. We would like to welcome both of our new game stores to the Genesis Battle of Champions community. Remember, to find out where your closest local game store is, visit genesisboc.com. Just like Jeff said a few minutes ago in the stream, it's the next logical step in collectible card games. I knew he was going to say that tonight, that's why I put it at the end of the video.
It's like my one buzzword, right?
Right?
Yep. No, that's great. I didn't realize they were both in the U.S. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I didn't realize they were both U.S. stores.
Yeah, both in
That's
Ohio.
awesome.
We're killing it in Ohio. We're getting lots of stores out there, which is great. I got another question in the other chat that I got to address real quick. For Jeffrey P72, he's saying he's still having a little bit of trouble understanding some of the game mechanics because he wants to get into live streaming some Genesis content. My first recommendation, Jeffrey, is if you haven't, head over to genesisboc.com and check out the several learn to play videos we have up. I've tried my best to really break down the information so that someone who hasn't played the game at all will be able to grasp it. And then once you've seen those videos, again, you can just email us and any of us will be happy to help you figure out anything that you're missing on the game mechanics and get you up and streaming soon.
Yep. Yeah, there's enough of a community around to help you out. There's some old judges, some new rules people that can help out with that. So any questions you have, you can drop into these chats and some people will jump all over it. We've also got a fan Discord and an official Discord running, both with judge sections that you can ask if there's very, very specific interactions you need to know about.
Yeah, I always forget to plug the Discord, but that's a great idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Quick answers for
Oh, there,
most
Cardboard
questions.
Cohorts just said it too. Tons of people in the Discords. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great spot for that sort of thing, and I'm excited to see your content once it's up. I can't wait to see it. I love all gaming content, but a little bit more when it's Genesis related.
Yeah, I think that's fair for me too. I definitely
Yeah.
enjoy seeing what people are doing, what they're building, what they're playing.
Do you mind if I do a quick rundown of names, Jason,
Yeah,
to make sure I haven't
please
missed
do.
anyone so far? So this goes for both chats that are live right now. I have Madtown Hobby, Damien C, Duelist JD, Will K, Jeffrey P72, Cardboard Cohorts, Brian P, Marcus P, Edward T, and Badson. It's 10 people total.
Nice.
If you did not hear your name, drop a comment in the chat so I can add your name to it, and you'll have a chance to win a pack of Invasion.
That's a great start tonight. Somebody's going to be winning a prize.
Yeah. Is anyone actually in the chat from Ohio or close to those stores? It'd be interesting if that's the case. I'm just curious if
Oh, yeah.
anyone happens to be in our chat happens to be local to that area or local enough that they would make a drive out to play it there. I'm just curious, that's all.
Or perhaps if there's anybody new watching for the first time tonight, because we did get a lot of
Oh,
new eyeballs on the game last week as we were dumbing it down at Gama. If this is your first time here, just make sure you say hi in the chat and we will enter you to win some free prizing tonight with a booster pack of Invasion.
you know what, Jason? They can even just drop an emoji if they don't feel comfortable talking.
Yeah,
Drop a little smiley face or a hand wave emoji, and that'll work just as well.
there you go.
We'll count that. Modern day hieroglyphics work for us too.
We just want to give stuff away, that's all.
Yeah, 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 exactly. um, do you want to run the other video? Or, oh, something else just popped up. We drive through Ohio a lot. If you do drive through Ohio, stop by. Stop by and say hi to them.
Yeah.
I don't unfortunately drive through Ohio a lot, but if I know when I do, I will stop by as well myself. I'm sure we all will.
Yeah.
Do we want to run that other video now, Jason? Do that spoiler because they might have some questions after the spoiler.
Yeah, sure, we can do that. Let me just find it here.
Yeah, yeah, by
And
all means.
And yeah, so I think it's around maybe a 3.5 minute video this time, and you'll get a taste for the story behind this character. But there's going to be a lot of really cool plot twists coming up in future chapters. So with that being said, here's your first introduction to a very cool character that I can't wait for you to see. The world is in metamorphosis, and you would be wise to heed this warning. Beware the mad elf. Very little is known about the elves who live in Moonmist Forest. In fact, very little is known about elves in general. Elves are typically content to ignore the small affairs of other races, unless something happens that violates their territory. If a traveler were to wander along the hillside above Drowwood Forest, and they kept following the hills, they would eventually reach the ruins of the village of Breer. Now, the village of Breer was a human village, and typically not a matter for the elves to concern themselves with. But this particular village was razed to the ground by demons, and those demons were a little too careless about how they spread their damage around. As the Moonmist Forest began to catch fire, one very unusual echidna was strangely drawn towards the chaos instead of fleeing from it. Screams could be heard in the air. A terrifying orange glow began to take hold in the forest as tree after tree began to be consumed by the fire that spread. The echidna was immediately confused. Strange lights and sounds. Somewhat so confused. And yet, clarity. The echidna remembered something it had forgotten ages ago. The echidna remembered that it knew the languages heard calling for help in the distance. And the echidna remembered one more thing. that it's not just an echidna. And so he ran, not away from the danger, but towards it. And as he ran faster, he remembered more and more of his past. He remembered who he truly was. Not just an echidna, but a druid elf. And after enjoying 1,000 years of peaceful life in the forest, these demons would learn a lesson for invading their own territory. They would learn never light an elf's trees on fire. Never go into an elf's forest without permission. And never, ever take an innocent life in an elf's forest. And we're back. So, there you go. Got some comments on both channels here. Over on the North of Exile channel, let me just check, make sure my mic wasn't muted. Wouldn't that have been embarrassing, Jeff? God knows I've done that enough times. Over on the North of Exile chat, Jeffrey was just asking, is there any importance to the map other than for the lore? No, there's not really, there's certainly no gameplay importance to the map, but I just thought it would be really nice to establish a permanent ongoing world with different regions for different affiliations, and then we can kind of build a culture in behind the game in the lore, but it's all just lore based. So just going to have some fun telling some stories and giving the characters a little bit of backstory to them. And then on the main chat here, Damien had asked whether I had to hand draw all the maps. No, I found a really cool site online where you could pay for a yearly fee and you can build all sorts of different styles of maps, and I've been having fun playing with that. I've got a whole set of maps built that nobody's seen yet for future locations. So yeah, it's really cool.
Indeed, cardboard cohorts. That's another transforming card. That one transforms from the Elven Patriarch to the Quilled Usurper.
And back.
Which is, and back, yeah. It's a druid on one side, and drumroll, a werechidna on the other side.
Yeah.
Don't know if you guys caught that. So yeah, it's an echidna, a quilled creature of the forest.
Yeah. There's gonna be a lot to explore with that in the future. How the elf became a werechidna, because are they all? Well, we're not committing to that yet. We're gonna tell you in the future. And yep. Lots of cool stuff. I'm excited about this character. There's so much fun stuff that we're going to be talking about with Sven in the future.
Oh yeah, no, I'm really excited to see it develop. I don't know if you guys know, but I can't hear the video when it's going, so I have to watch it back later and see what story elements Jason dropped in there to see what's going on. Mm-hmm. I hope you guys were all excited by it.
I'm hoping maybe next week I can get David out again to do some fun voices for the next one, because I know everybody loved the last spoiler where David did all the crazy voices. So
yeah, they really, really did. We have a few quick questions here. I'm just going to open up my file so that I can look at them and not just guess off the top of my head. There we are. So first question was about air and electric. So the Sven Elven Patriarch side does air attack. The Quilled Usurper side does do electric attack, and yes, it is yellow-green. It is Bellum Phage. So those were the two questions I saw so far.
In response to Badson, we got to give a shout out to Will. I think every champion, or maybe every except one, was created by Will, and Will is just killing it with great designs for the champions. So big shout out to him for that.
I think they are all, I mean, Will, if you're in the chat, still correct us, but I think they are all Will designs, which are just amazing. I mean, it's gone through, obviously, dev team and rules team to tweak things, so it's not all on his shoulders, but the initial idea there was his, which was really striking. Just even the transform mechanic and all that was. Yeah. I really like how it's working out so far in these champions. Yep, we'll update the library so you can get that in there. Sorry if there's been a few things not updated over the last week. We were busy with a little show called Gama, like I said earlier on.
Speaking of which, I got something I
Yeah.
can show people. I forgot until you just said that right
Yeah.
now. I do have a photo that I took of what our booth looked like. So in case anybody didn't see it, I'm going
Yeah.
to pop this up on the screen here, and you can take a look here. As Genesis was Genesis Janet. Why can't I say her name? Oh my God, Janice was setting up the Genesis booth one of the mornings when we were just getting there. And so you can see we had all sorts of cool banners. In fact, that's the first day that we were there because I see we didn't swap. We had two banners with the same art and we swapped them around
Yeah.
and brought the one from the right over to the middle. So that's literally before the hall even opened on the first day. And that was, we were still fresh at that point, Jeff. We hadn't been
Yeah.
standing on our feet for 8 hours a day for 4 days in a row yet. So,
Yeah. No
uh,
blisters.
yeah, that's right. No blisters. And then I got one other photo. This one I won't be hiding your face. Don't worry, Jeff. This one's just hiding my face. But Jeff and I both, we had a little bit of a run-in with security while we were down there. And Jeff will see in a few seconds because I know he had a photo of this too. The security guy in the background was like super scary at the event. So yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
they pulled no punches with, excuse
that's
me, with that
right.
security. They were dead serious. I mean,
That's right.
oh, the emperor needed his blood. Is that what it is? Blood for the emperor? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm not too up on the lore of it. Sorry. I was going great, and then I flubbed it at the
Batson has a question about if we'll be at Gen Con. Jeff and Janice and I, we were planning on talking probably in the next few days, figuring out what our next convention or expo or type event will be. We haven't locked anything in yet, so
Yeah, but we'll be sure to let people know between the live here and on all our socials as we do,
yeah,
so that everyone knows. And if it's something that can be attended by the general public, you can attend it. I want to give you guys
yeah,
enough notice for that.
and we'd all be
Timmy
able to
T is
hang out
joining.
together. Hey,
Yeah,
Timmy
yeah, it'll
T,
be nice.
welcome.
Also, to answer, I answered in the chat, but I'll say it out loud. The artwork, Brian, was done by the very talented Mikhail Raiv.
Yeah.
I think I'm saying his last name right. Just very, very talented individual, and he's a 3D modeler and an artist. Just does some really phenomenal stuff. He has that real painterly look to it. Like, looks very natural. Looks very, very painterly. I really like that look.
I got another question over on the other chat. Jeffrey
Mm-hmm.
P72 is asking, is there a main reason that these places are at war or in chaos lore-wise, or is it just cause? So they're actually not at war, other than that one village that got burned down by some demons, but that's part of a main story that's going to be getting told over a few sets. The interesting thing is Metamorphosis, the name of the set, is based on the fact that there was an original lore that had been established for years and years by the original company. And then, as much as we wanted to redesign some champions, redesign what the cards look like, we also wanted to give our own flavor to the lore that was more to our tastes and our storytelling that we wanted to convey. So, the Metamorphosis is a transitional time where people are kind of, well, seeing their whole world and universe metamorph around them and change from the way it was to the way it is. Subtle changes sometimes, drastic changes sometimes. Some allies no longer remember each other. Some enemies have become friends. A lot of the personal things haven't really been revealed yet because that's going to be coming in some lore in the future. But yeah, there's a whole story as things are being changed, and who knows what the reason is behind this metamorphosis. That could be something that takes some long-term storytelling to finally answer someday. But we're just starting what's going to be a very long and fun tale to share with our players over the next few years. So that's the answer there. It's not war. It's just everything is slowly changing. And generally speaking, only the champions, for some reason, are able to perceive the difference and remember the old world versus the new world.
Big bomb dropped in. I think it was the end of chapter 3. It was a big
Yeah.
bomb drop that even when I read it, I was like, I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool. So even I was shocked and surprised by it. So yeah, not at war, but in turmoil, I guess would be the right
Yeah.
word, maybe, Jason.
Yeah.
It's a world in turmoil.
I know that there's an affiliation called Chaos, but and that's not the pun. I'm just saying the world is a little chaotic right now. Things
Yeah.
are some people are having trouble finding their way. Some people are learning strange things. It's going to be a really fun story to continue enjoying over the next few months.
So I'd like to ask a quick question to the group, if you don't mind, Jason, because I see Cardboard Cohorts said he'd love to see us at Gen Con, and I know Badson asked about Gen Con. Gen Con or Origins? What's people's preference? Because I think those are the two next big shows coming up.
That's a
Is
great
it
question. Yeah, let's
Gen
find
Con
out.
or Origins? I believe Gen Con's the one that's coming up sooner. I think Origins is August, if I'm not mistaken, and Gen Con is June, um, if I'm not mistaken.
While they take a moment to answer in the chat, I've
Mm-hmm.
got some questions in the other chat to
Yeah,
address. So,
go for it.
first one is a rules question, and I don't know because I don't have the card memorized, so I'd have to pull it up on the screen. But Marcus is asking, is there a way that this new champion could have three turns? For example, transforming twice instead of being permanently exerted in a round. I can't
Let me
remember
look it
what
up
the
right now.
yeah, what was the
Remember
mechanic
all
for?
observe markers. So when he transforms from his elf form to his um, Werkidna form, you remove the markers, and you do same the other way. Also, the abilities from his thoughts. Nope. This one here is not transform. Cannot transform more than once per round. Is the continuous on Sven Elven Patriarch. So no transform. He
Oh,
can go
okay.
from Sven to sorry. He can go from Elf Druid from Druid to Werkidna back to Druid, but then he cannot transform. Based on just what it says on the text there. Now, the rules team will have to speak to it a little bit more, but as
Yeah,
of right now, that's what it says there.
that's
Apparently, I got them
that
backwards.
sounds
Gen
right.
Con is August, Origins is June. Janice
Okay.
just corrected me. Sorry, jumping around there a bit.
And then another question we have in the other chat, Jeffrey P72 is asking, have you or are you going to release playmats for the game? And they're already available to game stores all across Canada and the States. I
Mm-hmm.
believe Jeffrey, I'm pretty sure Jeffrey's Canadian if I remember right. He'll correct me if I'm wrong because I haven't seen him chat in a stream since Trainer Snake did it last year. But yeah, if you're in Canada, then your local store can order playmats. They're in stock right now at Universal Distribution. And if you're in the States, same answer in so much as they are in stock, and stores in the States can order playmats from Southern Hobby Distribution.
Yep. So wherever you are, you can also jump to our store locator on our website, genesisboc.com, and you'll find your closest one there, and
Yeah.
you can either pick it up from them direct or get them to mail it to you. A lot of places now do online ordering, and we'll ship things virtually
Oh,
wherever.
Oh, one cool little tweak that I learned when I was
Mhm.
updating the store locator this week, Jeff, is I learned how to add some cool extra settings and functionality. So there's a new setting now. When you go to the store locator, there's a button you can click on it to list only new stores that have been added recently. So I'm going to do that. Every time we have new stores added, I'm going to give them a new store designation for like 3 or 4 months so that people, if they just want to see the growth over time, they can click the button and it filters out all the other red marks and leaves
Yeah.
just the new stores there. I'm going to mark them with a push pin at first until they hit about the 3 month mark, just because I would not be surprised now that we've been through Gamma and all the great feedback we had. I think we're going to get a lot of new stores onboarding pretty soon. So I thought it'd be cool just to, feature them so people know, have an easy way to check to see if a new one's open near them.
Yep. Yep. I'm just looking at it now. That's so cool. That is really, really cool. Oh, there's so many dots on this map. Sorry, I got distracted here. There are so many dots on
Yeah.
this map here.
Yeah. It's a
So nice.
nice map, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, and we do have. Oh, yeah, in Reno. Yeah, that's right. We do have that one. Sorry, just Kobold's Keep. Because I remember a while ago someone was really, really trying to get the West Coast, and yeah, Kobold's Keep is out there with stuff. And
Speaking of which, I'm so
West Coast
sad.
Beers. Oh,
If anybody from Cobalt's Keep is
yeah.
watching tonight, two of them from the Reno, Nevada store came by and was talking to Janice while Jeff and I were doing demos. And when I finished my demo and I found out that the people from Cobalt's Keep it came by and I didn't get to say hi, I was so disappointed. So
Yeah.
if you happen to be watching tonight, next time wait or like poke me on the shoulder or something, just because
Yep.
I wanted to say hi to the ones who are doing all the heavy lifting out in the west coast of the states for us and being that bastion of fun gameplay for us. Big shout out to them.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I regret, like you, Jason, not being able to say hi to them.
Yeah,
Um, but I think at least one of us spoke to every other store that came by, which was
yeah.
um, just to say hi to them. The ones that do carry us and the ones that don't yet, sort of thing. Awesome.
Hmm.
Oh, my town hobby. Let's see. The playmat is under category website. That was there. Oh, okay. They have it under a different category.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you can also, I think you can just type in the words Battle of Champions. I don't have a login because I'm not American, but
Hmm.
without being logged in, if I type Battle of Champions into their search bar, all four products of ours come up, including the playmats in one search result. They should be in stock right now. So Uh,
Oh,
as
that's
far as
weird.
I know, as far as I know, they have them in both warehouses, the West Coast and the Central one.
Might
But
want to call
I
your
can,
rep directly.
yeah,
Well, you can call them too, Jason, from here, but also you call your rep directly and ask them what's going on from that end because they
yeah,
should have it in stock. Yeah.
that's right. Oh,
Yeah, it might have just been a miscommunication error there.
don't forget to add
Sorry.
in the works there. We got our boy Aaron,
Oh,
who's
yes, yes.
doing some great content. Aaron's been making several videos a week of Genesis gameplay on his fresh YouTube channel. So if you want to see some great content where people are
Hmm.
battling it out, check out In the Works. That's a YouTube channel, and maybe hit that nice little subscribe button while you're there, and you'll get to see lots of cool content every week by Aaron.
Yeah, good idea too. If I'm not mistaken, Aaron was one of the last judges from before
That's right.
um, the original company, the other company shut down. So he
That's
was one of
right.
the last approved judges of that. So he kind of knows what he's talking about when it comes to gameplay.
I'm not ashamed to admit that I ask him rules questions in my store because sometimes you'd need sanity check. And also, just because
Yeah,
I work for the company doesn't mean that I'm as polished on all the intricate rules for this game as I used to be when I was a magic judge and studying constantly all the time. There's a lot of things. We're all wearing a bunch of hats. So every now and then I just double check with Aaron to make sure that my rules knowledge is right. So usually it's okay.
I freely admit I'm not a rules, an overly rules focused person. I'm more on the creative side of it. So I do know that I will mess up a rule here and there. So definitely default to anyone who
Oh,
better than me.
Aaron says there's a new video up just today. That's great.
Sweet. Awesome. I'll check that out later, Aaron. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you very much. What else do we need to go over, Jason? We're pushing up towards the end time of the show now.
I
Please?
just want to mention a couple little vague things from Gamma 2024, if I can. Jeff had alluded to the fact we met lots of cool connections and all sorts of things. I'm optimistic that we met some cool companies that are going to help us get organized play going even quicker than we necessarily thought, which might be great. So organized play is off to a good start with some new connections. We talked to several distributors. We broke ice talking a little bit with GTS, which of course is one of the biggest American distributors. We also got approached by several small distributors, kind of like the indie game distributors,
Mhm.
who some of them approached us to see if they could get our product. Because in that case, we're like that mid tier. We're not a totally small indie. They're like, oh, you're already getting noticed. Can we carry your stuff as well? So that was
Yeah.
really cool getting approached and by a couple of distributors. So American-based ones, I should say. So things in the States are going really well. There's potentially new sales channels, new ways for people to get product. Organized play is on course, even speeding up a bit, which is great. We met so many great connections, and the how could I say this? People that we talked to treated Genesis with a lot of respect when they talked to us. They treated us like we're a good company that's up and coming that they want to be a part of, and it's really exciting. There's a good reputation out there right now for the game and for what's been going on, and I'm really thrilled about that. And it really feels, and I think Jeff will confirm this. It really feels like the future is just extremely bright right now for the game. We got a lot of great momentum, a lot of good word of mouth, and it got kind of got shown to us by the way people approached us and really wanting to partner with us. And I won't say what type of company it is, and I won't give any hints, but I will say this: there was one very, very big name company that everybody's heard of that expressed interest in working with us on a product, and I was kind of blown away. If it happens,
Yeah.
it'll be amazing.
Yep.
So that's all I want to say about that. But just the fact that that person was like, "Yeah, I'd like to talk to you about us doing something with Genesis," I was like, "Oh boy!"
Yep. Yep.
So,
Yep.
so yeah, there a lot of people have a lot of great things to say, and the reputation for Genesis right now is going really well. So shout out to all of our community because all of you players out there are a big, big key essential part of that, helping us grow the game. You're all awesome. Keep supporting the game. Keep playing the game. Keep talking about the game. It's all working, and we're doing really well. And there's a lot of reasons for all of us who love the game and are all part of the community to be really excited because things are going great.
Yep. Yeah, that's wonderful. No, I'm really, really, really excited with some of those conversations. There were other
Yeah.
conversations too, right, Jason, that we
Yep.
can't get into until
Yeah.
those things materialize if they do. there might be some really exciting stuff down the over the next 4 to 6 months if things turn out the way
Yeah.
they should.
Yeah, I'd
I'm
say
going to be through the names. Sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
please. No, I was just gonna say I'd say there is at least 3 or 4 things that if any
Yep.
one of them turned out, they'd all be really exciting.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's lots of cool things. Now, please, were you gonna check the list again? Is that what
I
you're
was going
doing?
to check the list one more time, see if we're missing
Awesome.
anyone. So please listen for your name. If you do not hear it, or your handle, I should say, drop a comment. We have Madtown Hobby, Damien C, Duelist JD, Will K, Jeffrey P72, Cardboard Cohorts, Brian P, Marcus P, Edward T, Badson, Timmy T, Airboy Zeal, and In the Works. So if you
Awesome.
didn't hear your name, drop a quick comment in the chat there, and we'll add you in the next couple minutes before we spin the wheel. In the meantime, I'm going to turn the camera towards the
Yep.
tries to right, and I also got to make sure that it's not going to be blurry because I set the background blur thing, which might make it blurry. So delayed on my end, so I can't really see anything.
Yeah.
But let me see what's popping up there, and I'm pointing at the wrong side of it again, and it is blurry. I wonder if I can turn that off midstream. Let me see here if I can fix that. Oh, that would turn the camera off. I don't want to turn it off. Change video background. There we are. No blur. There we go. Now it should be clear in a moment. I'll see it. I'll turn the just arrow. And I think we've got the arrow now.
You have it lined up right, the camera, but on my end, it still looks like it's blurry at the moment. Just to let
Really?
you
Should
know.
have cleared up. Let me take a quick look here.
We have the camera
Video
lined up
back.
perfectly.
Oh, I see. Never mind. I forgot to click this button. There we
There you
are.
go. Yep, that did it.
That should fix it up.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't have any new comments here. Do you have anything on the
No, we're up to date, so you could go ahead and
shuffle?
spin that wheel. Spin that
Shuffle up and play,
wheel.
as they say, right?
Yeah, yeah. Who's gonna be our big winner? Wait, 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 wait. We got a new name. We got a new
Oh,
name.
oh yeah, I
Right
see
at
it.
the
Nails
last
there.
sec. Look at that. The
Wow.
last possible second. All right. Get that
Oh
name out.
man.
Remember that one time
What if,
when that happened? Somebody joined at the
yeah,
very last second and then they
yeah.
won.
That's what I was
It,
gonna say. What if it happens again?
right? Then everybody will do that next week. Everybody will wait till the last second and we'll get a flood of names if this happens
we'll,
again.
we'll have a blank chat until then. Well, I'm shuffling it up a crazy ton just in case.
Yep.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna
All
spin
right.
it now. No new name, right? No. Okay. It's a decided victory. Not even close there.
Yep. That's
Good
Marcus,
work.
right? Yep.
Yep. Marcus
Yep.
P.
Cool.
Congratulations, Marcus.
Well, I'll see him soon, I'm sure, so he can pick up his prize in person.
Yeah, I'll turn this back to me. That should have
Yep.
me in frame there, I hope.
Yeah, you're good.
Awesome. That's great. Oh, congratulations, Marcus. That
Now,
was
should we run the champion video one more time? Since
yeah.
we probably have a couple people in the chat that might have missed
Yep.
it. So
Let's run it one more time. That way, if anyone has any questions, they can formulate them, drop them in the chat, and when we're back from the video, we'll answer them before. Yep.
all right. And in the other chat, Marcus says, "Yay, thank you. You're very welcome, Marcus. Enjoy your free stuff."
Very well.
And then I got the video ready, so we're gonna check out Sven, the Mad Elf. The world is in metamorphosis, and you would be wise to heed this warning. Beware the Mad Elf. Very little is known about the elves who live in Moonmist Forest. In fact, very little is known about elves in general. Elves are typically content to ignore the small affairs of other races, unless something happens that violates their territory. If a traveler were to wander along the hillside above Drowwood Forest, and they kept following the hills, they would eventually reach the ruins of the village of Breer. Now, the village of Breer was a human village, and typically not a matter for the elves to concern themselves with. But this particular village was razed to the ground by demons, and those demons were a little too careless about how they spread their damage around. And as the Moonmist Forest began to catch fire, One very unusual echidna was strangely drawn towards the chaos instead of fleeing from it. Screams could be heard in the air. A terrifying orange glow began to take hold in the forest as tree after tree began to be consumed by the fire that spread. The echidna was immediately confused. Strange lights and sounds. Somewhat so confused. And yet, clarity. The echidna remembered something it had forgotten ages ago. The echidna remembered that it knew the languages heard calling for help in the distance. And the echidna remembered one more thing. That it's not just an echidna. And so he ran. Not away from the danger, but towards it. And as he ran faster, he remembered more and more of his past. He remembered who he truly was. Not just an echidna, but a druid elf. And after enjoying 1,000 years of peaceful life in the forest, these demons would learn a lesson for invading the wrong territory. They would learn never light an elf's trees on fire. Never go into an elf's forest without permission. And never, ever take an innocent life in an elf's forest. And we're back.
That was nice. I loved watching it again.
Thanks. I'm glad.
That
Oh, these
was
streams are
really,
so
really
much
fun to
fun.
watch. They really are. They really, really are. They're a great way to start off the week, I think. I think the audience feels the same way, I'm sure. They stuck around. We got a lot of people here.
How many champions have we spoiled now, Jeff?
We have spoiled. Oh boy, now you're going to make me double check that because I remember off the top of my head.
I'm just trying to remember how many we got left.
I will let you know how many we've spoiled in one moment. We have spoiled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is number 6.
Okay. Will we
So I
have
know
a
exactly
champion
how many.
next week?
We will have a champion next week. Yes.
We will. Ooh.
Yes. And I have a. I think I know who I want it to be next week, and I think someone will be very, very happy when they see it next week.
Yeah. Very
Who it
cool.
is, what they can do, all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, cardboard cohorts, you were right. 5. So this Sven is number 6.
Yeah.
Sven was number 6. It's hard to keep track with the transforming card, right? That's why I have to check all the
Yeah.
time because I'm like, well, technically this many images, but that doesn't translate to the cards specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Brian. You're the ones getting spoiled. That's really thank you. It's nice to hear. That's awesome. um I don't know. I don't see any more questions coming in. Jason, do you have anything else to go over? I mean, it's Gamma was such a overwhelming thing that kind of can't do it justice, I guess, just talking about it for. But it was nice. No Shockwave. I'm not going to answer your question. It's Nubia as Nubia. I'm not answering that. You'll have to tune in and see. But I'm glad to see you back in the community. Very active.
Yeah.
I saw you on the Discord a little bit and all that. It's really nice.
Very cool. Welcome back. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We got another fun spoiler plan for next week
Yes.
as we keep ramping up towards the release of Metamorphosis. Just to let everybody know, I believe there's only about a week left, maybe less. It might be this Friday, might be the cutoff date for stores to place pre-orders for Metamorphosis and get them for release day. Because we are going to be printing to order for this set, meaning we're going to wait to see how much is ordered. Then we'll probably print a little bit extra, but not a ton. And then after that, people are going to have to wait for wave 2. So this is the luxury that we have of having more time. We can do things in a more traditional manner. So definitely make sure that you let your stores know if they haven't that they really want to get some pre-orders locked in, because otherwise, with the way we're growing, those extra boxes are probably going to be set aside for stores that discover us right around release day, and you would hate to miss out on release day fun. So,
Oh yeah.
mind you, that's pretty normal for the industry, though. Everybody, like for all the card games, game stores have to pre-order a couple months ahead. So we're not
Yep.
doing anything unusual. That's just how it works. So.
Yep.
Make sure you guys let your local stores know that you want to get in on the fun, because Metamorphosis will be here this summer when
Mhm.
things really heat up.
Ooh, I like that line. That's a really good one. I like
Yeah.
that. We should have ended it on that. That would have been beautiful.
All right. I've
No,
said
great.
my piece. Anything you want to talk about, Jeff, before we call her a night?
No, no, I was ecstatic. Gamma went great, and can't wait to see where we're going next to show off the game to everyone. And I'm happy everyone was join us. There's still 15 people watching, Jason, according to
Yeah.
my screen here, and that's amazing. So happy you could all join us for this. Uh, Looking forward to more spoilers. Come back next Monday. It's going to be awesome. I'm really excited
Did
for it.
we get many comments on the whole Gen Con versus Origins? Um,
Yeah, most people said Gen Con.
Most people said Gen
Well, two
Con.
people said Gen Con. Two of two
Okay.
people said Gen Con.
Two of two people said Gen Con. All right.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. That might be where we wind up popping up next. Who knows? But
Yep.
in the meantime, it's been a great stream. Like Jeff said, thanks everybody for
Yeah.
tuning in and commenting and being part
So
of it. It's so much fun. Last words go to you, Jeff. What do you want to say as we fade out?
take it easy, and we'll see you all next week.
Sounds good. Bye, everyone.
Bye.